Hi everybody, my name's Jackie and I'm the creator of midlifenursing.com. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about the Med Surg HESI. I had a lot of trouble figuring out what was the best way to study for the HESI because, I don't know about you, but in my program it was like, they teach you a whole semester worth of Med Surg, and you're going to take this comprehensive HESI exam at the end of the semester. But I was like, how do I study for it though? Like, I can't study an entire semester of notes and PowerPoints. Like, I felt super lost. And so I actually learned about a website called yourbestgrade.com. And so it's a website that is completely dedicated to the HESI, studying for the HESI. However, you could also they have a specialty exam section. So like that's where you study for your Med Surg HESI or your pediatrics or your geriatrics. You could use those to study for finals too. Like, it's just really awesome site. So they agreed to give me a link to share with you guys. So it's down there below. I absolutely credit this as the #1 reason why I was able to score a 1217 on my Med Surg HESI. I was shocked when I hit submit, honestly. I had studied for a fundamentals HESI the semester before, and, I got in the 900s, but I felt like, I studied all the wrong things. I could have done so much better on that HESI, but I didn't know where to go. I'd heard about the Green Book. I'd heard about Simple Nursing, and those are all great, but I just didn't find that they helped me so much for the HESI as much as your best grade. So if you want to score high, super high on your HESI, like, if your grade is struggling, you're like right at the edge and your HESI is worth a big part of your grade, I highly, highly recommend getting this resource. It's really hard questions, but that's kind of like, I think, why it works so well. It's like it's boot camp for the HESI. If you read the rationales, their rationales are like, I call them just gold. You learn so much in those rationales. You will learn how to read labs, how to look at a full panel of labs, pick out which labs are a problem, and answer the question. They do a really good job, and I'm surprised they're not more well known. So that's why I wanted to make a video, because, I created my website, I created this channel because I'm in my 30s, I'm going into nursing. I'm really passionate about nurses passing nursing school. It took me a long time to get here. And I see a lot of people not passing in the Facebook groups, and like, we have a national shortage of nurses. Like, we need nurses, but they can't dumb down the content because you have lives in your hands. Like, it's a huge responsibility. When I go to clinical and I'm watching my nurse, I'm like, I'm gonna have to do this, and it's a lot of responsibility. So you absolutely do want to be super prepared when you get on that floor. So my website, my channel is, I want to help you guys. Like, I'm a tutor for my own personal program that I attend. I tutor this semester before me. I just want to help people pass. I want to pass. So I'm doing everything that I can to do super well so that I can pass on that knowledge and those tips to everybody else. So #1, to score high on the HESI. Get your best grade. Just do it. You won't regret it, but use it. Like, schedule your time and use it. I don't know about you guys, but I have bought so many memberships to things. I bought study guides and bundles and cheat sheets, and I've got this membership over here, and it's too much. Like, I can't do it all. And it's just proven through science that testing yourself is the best way to study. So I'm a huge advocate of the active recall method. You want to test yourself to study. You got to do practice to go take the big exams. You know what I'm saying? So that's my biggest tip. I'm going to also mention another great resource, and that is Saunders. Yeah, I know a lot of people know about Saunders already, but if you don't and you're struggling in your exams, Saunders is like, I have like my big three, you know, so your best grade for HESI, Saunders to study for content as you're learning it. So like say I'm in Med Surg and I'm learning respiratory right now. I'm going to go into evolve.com with my access code. So make sure that you buy the book new if you don't have it so that you get the access code. That is what you really, really want. So I will leave a link, my Amazon affiliate link below. And you will go on Evolve and you will have access to a huge test bank of thousands of questions. So when you are studying for respiratory, you're going to go to the respiratory section. And if you know those and you've gone through them, I mean, believe me, we all get them wrong the first rounds. We get a lot wrong. I get a lot wrong. But that's what it's all about. It's boot camp. So take the tests, take the quizzes, and do really bad at first. Do it bad at home before you go to school and do it bad there, right? So if you know your Saunders questions really well, chances are you're going to know your professor's test very well, because again, we're studying and testing to take the NCLEX. They know that. They have certain parameters and things that they need to teach to keep their accreditation so that we're passing the NCLEX. So I have streamlined now that I've finished my first year of nursing school in my BSN program. I don't use like 80% of the things that I got my first semester. What I use is, of course, I go to class. I don't take notes, but I will I don't handwrite notes. I take little I take notes on the PowerPoint, little things that the teacher mentions on the side, like know this, like this is important. I will highlight that stuff. So, and then I study in Quizlet. So that's like my big three. So I go into Quizlet, I put my PowerPoints into Quizlets, like paragraphs. I take out important keywords and I put in parentheses blank so that when I'm looking at the flashcard, I'm reading like the paragraph my teacher had, but I'm filling in keyword blanks. So that has helped me crazy amount. So I do that. And I use Saunders as my backup. And then always, 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 if you are not like connecting to something, like you're just like, I know it on like paper, but I can't like recall it off of my head. Like you should be able to somewhat teach it back. Like you should be able to kind of say it out loud and kind of organize your thoughts. And if you can't do that, that's when I suggest getting onto YouTube. Registered Nurse RN is awesome. Nexus Nursing is awesome. If you haven't heard of her, she's not as well known. She does like practice tests on YouTube that you can like, you know, she does the test, you answer the question, like I pause, I think about my answer, and then she answers and she does like a rationale and she says it in such a way that like, it's funny. Like she's like, why would you say that? Like, you know that. And like, it really helps when you're taking tests at school, I find. So I want to wrap up. Again, I want this to be more about the Med Surg HESI. It's a huge HESI. I mean, Med Surg is a huge class in nursing school. Mine is broken up into two. So, you know, I have Med Surg 1, and now I'm going to go on to Med Surg 2 in the fall. So, it's a big deal. And there was no like go-to place. Like, this is where you go to study for the HESI. It's like, there's so many suggestions. And like I said, I've done the HESI last semester. I did okay. I could have done better. But I was all over the place, like trying to watch this and go on this and look at these notes, and like your best grade just streamlines it. Honestly, I think it's all you would need to do really well. Like, you know, if your goal is to score over 1,000, totally possible. But, you know, if all else fails, you're going to pass. If you really commit to doing your best grade, you are going to pass the HESI. And that's what it's all about. So leave your questions below. Go ahead and, you know, let me know if you have any tips. If you agree, have you tried your best grade? And also go ahead and subscribe and like this video. If you like nursing content, if you want to hear what's worked for me to get straight A's in nursing school, you know, I have a 4.0 GPA times 2 now. I've really figured out, I made a ton of mistakes in the beginning. I've really figured out how to streamline this and to hopefully help, you know, anyone wherever they're at in nursing school, but especially freshmen who are coming in and they're really overwhelmed and being bombarded by all the marketing and all this stuff. Like, I'm not saying that stuff doesn't work. It will work for people, of course, but for me, like, I need simplicity. Like, I need things on my computer. I don't want books. I don't want things to print out. But I also don't want to read things, if that makes sense. I want to quiz myself. That's actually proven the best way anyway. So, do you agree with me? If you don't agree, I want to hear what works for you. So stay tuned for the next video. Bye, guys.